I just enjoy what it takes to be successful there.
Luck?
Luck's a factor. No question about it.
Well, you see, the arguments on Twitter every time we get into the Daytona 500 is that it's more luck than skill.
Sure, you can luck up a win at Daytona. 1, you're not going to luck into 2. You're not going to luck into 3. That's for sure. So I think we've seen some one-off winners, first-time winners for the Daytona 500. We saw it last year with Austin Cindric. So it is possible because there is so much carnage, so many crashes at that racetrack. You can see a surprise winner for that race, which we have. But you consistently, if there were no crashes, you could pretty much predict the top 5, in my opinion.
If there were no crashes,
I can tell you he's going to be running top 5 on the green-white checkered,
okay.
or at the end.
Okay, next Sunday, there's no crashes. Who's running top 5?
See, why are you going to do that?
Well, I could predict the top 5 if there's no crashes. So, go ahead.
Wow. Okay, top 5, no crashes. Myself.
Are these in no particular order?
No particular order. Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Joey Logano, I'm missing one, right?
Yeah, you got 4.
I wasn't adding people, by the way. I'm trying to buy myself some time. Brad Keselowski.
All right, so how are you coming up with these? Like, what are the factors in play?
Just their awareness of the draft, their decision making in the pack, strength of teams that might hurt Brad slightly, although they had a strong speedway.
Yeah, but overall, Brad has been a successful super speedway
which
racer.
I think Ford is going to be the teams to beat based off of the new bodies that are out this year. They'll be the teams to beat in qualifying. So yeah, that'll be my top 5 for sure. I think that when you look at how strong Penske's been on the super speedways, a lot of it is because of how well they work together. But they also, you can tell they talk a lot. You can tell that they have the same techniques. So they go into a film session. They talk about what they're looking for and things like that. So, I hate I left Bubba off because he really, I'm telling you, I've said it in media for the last year. He took a step of something I saw from Daytona 1 to Daytona 2 last year that made him a top-tier elite super speedway racer. He was always good. He made those bold, flashy moves like McMurray for so many years, but getting to the front and staying in the front take 2 different techniques, and I think he finally got both of them starting at Daytona 2 last year. So Bubba is my honorable mention guy.
It's interesting that you have Joey on that list, but also yourself on that list, considering your racing styles at these types of tracks are drastically different.
It is, but I think that we respect each other on these type of racetracks. We actually work with each other more than we do not on speedways. Believe it or not. You don't see it much on TV, but we do. Let's just say we use each other. We use each other. We're not trying to help the other person, but we certainly are using each other to maintain our track position up front. And listen, I've been at a manufacturer disadvantage for most of my career, especially since we've been competitive on the super speedways for forever, right? And a lot of that is because of these, alliances where, essentially back in 2016 when the first real manufacturer alliance happened on a super speedway is when the Toyotas got together. We ran practice. We saw how fast our cars were together and said, well, our lap times are so fast, they're not going to be able to pass us if we just run the bottom. So we did, and we dominated the race. Since then, you saw all the other manufacturers say, okay, well, we're just going to run in a line and basically, finish this thing out. So I've been against the odds and against the numbers for a lot of this, so it makes it tough. So Logano and his team do a good job of staying up front. They usually do. But individually, I've seen at times when Logano's showed a little, what's the word when you become invincible? Not invincible. He's vincible when he doesn't have his teammates, for sure. So, these manufacturer alliances that you're going to see and you're going to hear a lot on TV for the first few days, we talk about duels. They all go away in my end, in my opinion, with 20 laps to go, because I just feel like these guys get selfish, as they should. Whoever's the fifth Ford in line or Chevy in line is not going to be fine with just pushing those other Fords, especially, or Chevys that are not their teammates, to a victory. Like, they're not okay with that. And that's typically where I have excelled, is that letting these guys get selfish at the end of the day, and then I capitalize. And I need wrecks to thin out the field,
right,
to even the numbers for me slightly.
But like Joey's a guy who's super aggressive in his driving strategy. You would agree, right? At least
yes, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
And you at super speedways, I would say you're very passive.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
What's that?
I would say that my moves are not flashy, for sure.
You're not making blocks left and right.
No.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
My thing with blocks is, like, I believe my mentality is live to see the checkered. There's no one block that has to be made at any time. I made no block on Ryan Newman entering turn 3 on the final lap, because if I block him, 90% chance we wreck. Okay, that leaves me a 10% chance we don't wreck. That out of that 10%, I'm probably going to get passed anyway, and then I've lost all my momentum by trying to block. So now my chances of winning are like 2%, 1%. I knew letting him go with his huge run, I was going to have still a shot. I saw he was getting pushed by the 12, so I'm like, well, there's a chance I could win because these two wreck each other coming to the line, and there's really no pressure from anyone coming in third at the time. So I'm like, that's a chance I could win, and that's a pretty good chance. There's a lot of wrecks coming to the checkered. And then it is, when Blaney backs up to me and I reattach to him really quick, I'm like, oh, this is not over. And I think I'm going to win. I really did. Coming off 4, I'm like, I've got the momentum. I'm pushing the 12. I'm probably going to win. And I'm like, as soon as the 12 shot to the bottom, I'm like, they're going to crash. I just have to not be in it. I just knew that there was going to be a big, big block by the 6, which there was. And yeah, I mean, listen, was it luck that, like, the 6 came up the racetrack and I barely cleared? That was luck. But then my immediate reaction is I saw where the 12 was. I went down, side drafted him as hard as I could right before the line and got him. So luck is a factor in this week's race. There's no question. But that's about 20% of your outcome. The rest is execution and skill set.